Well, here we are again, one more Tuesday night.
Oh, good evening. Good evening. And how are you tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm really good. So,
Yeah.
thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Eileen Monks.
Yes, and I'm Ken Schmidt. Don't forget, if you're watching this live tonight, to not hit, but make a comment, live, pound, something, live. Let us know where you're watching from and it's live.
Are you stumbling a little here, kiddo?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, and it's funny because I'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, absolutely. Comment, share, like the rest of that kind of stuff. Though that's always really important to us, and it's nice when people have a chance to come back and visit us and spread the word basically. So I'm just kind of curious, what's the weather like there?
Well, over here, it's been, for the most part, this afternoon's been really nice. This morning was a little bit gray, cloudy, rainy, but now it's been fantastic. It's still like, I don't know, it's like 16 degrees outside, something like that. So
Holy
for
moly.
our American friends, what's that in Fahrenheit for our American friends? I don't know, 76-ish, something like that, I think.
I don't know what it is anymore. I can't remember. Yeah, over
Okay.
here this morning was stormy, not looking good, and it was a little sketchy. And then about noon, 11 o'clock, it started to turn around.
Mm,
And since about 2 o'clock, it's been gorgeous.
yeah,
It's absolutely gorgeous.
awesome.
Yeah. So anyways, I would like to start the show,
That's
and
good.
I am really excited tonight to be welcoming Mardi Getty to our show. And Mardi is a mother, a wife, a sister, and a friend. And not just to myself, but to all of those people that know her. She started working when she was 14 years old, and she had only taken a summer off to travel Europe. So she's been working for a little while. It's not that she's terribly old, but she's been working for a while. And in the last 7 years, she decided to take a break from that kind of work, and she became basically a stay-at-home mom with her kids. Now, personally, had I been able to do that when my kids were young, I would have absolutely done anything to do that. She's done a TEDx show, a talk on the 5-year plan.
Mhm.
And she has owned and operated small businesses most of her adult life. So she's had to learn everything that she knows about business through her own mistakes and through her mentorship, or like her mentors rather. So
Mhm.
I'm really, really pleased to welcome Mardi Getty this week to our show.
Awesome. Well, let's bring her up.
Bring her up.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Hey, Marty. Thanks
Hi.
for joining us
Marty?
tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Marty, it's been a couple of months since I saw you last. How are you?
I'm good. We have relocated to Fort McMurray. The family moved up here I moved up on the 1st of August, and the kids joined me and Jeff on the 8th. So it has been good getting adjusted to living back up north. So all in all, it's nice.
And how much snow is outside your door?
Okay, so it has snowed since I've been here. It has snowed maybe 5 times separately, but so far nothing is really sticking, which is good. However, it's been cold. It's been colder than I'm used to. It's not that cold yet.
Well, and you were just in Vancouver, so Vancouver's pretty mild, and I can't imagine that was an easy shift.
My sister was up here on the weekend, and she's like, I don't think I could hack it here. I don't think I could make the winter.
So
I'm like, you don't even need a jacket.
Exactly, right? Just for our global friends, where Eileen basically and I we're on the border on the west coast of Canada, right on the border of Canada and US. So where Marty is, I don't know how, 12 hours drive north? No, more than that. Sorry, no, it's like you guys are
1,500 kilometers from Vancouver.
Yeah. So like we're talking next door neighbor is what, Yukon up there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We literally have a bridge to nowhere. Like the bridge just ends and you can't drive over any further until the winter comes and everything's frozen. So
out to Neverland.
Absolutely. I lived in Dawson Creek for 12 years, and I went up there with the 2-year to 3-year plan.
Right.
And at 12-year, I went, I am leaving. Either you're coming with me or not. I don't care, but I am leaving. I'm just not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So thank you so very, very much for joining us. I also noticed today on your Facebook that you said you were a bit nervous, but excited. So I hope you're not nervous anymore. And you can see.
I will say, if I interrupt you lots, it's because I'm nervous. So I will try very hard to not do that.
You're excited.
You're excited. I do that too. Like, and it's hard to stop yourself from jumping in and or you're saying, yeah. And people think you're interrupting them. No, I'm not. I'm just agreeing with you. So, okay. So it's a funny thing because when Ken and I first started doing this, I was like this big, massive ball of sweat. And I just, oh my gosh, I'm going to be public and people are going to see me. And I just felt awful. And I got on here and I realized pretty quickly that what the audience doesn't know is we can't see who's on. All we see is the three of us. And there's no views or anything like that. So I'm actually hoping, and I'd really appreciate it if those people who are out there that are watching live, if you can type in the comments section where you're watching from, I would hugely appreciate that. And if you're watching a replay, could you please type replay and where you're watching from so that we have a sense of how far reaching this is getting. That would be really, really cool for us. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Yeah. So Mardi, just to get us started, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm a mom. I've got 2 kids. They're 5 and 7, Walker and London, and I'm married. I work in advertising, and I also dabble a little bit in real estate. I've run other people's businesses, and I've also bought my own business before. So I've kind of done a little bit in there. I am working on figuring out what my hobby is besides working and raising kids, because I do those things most of the time and I like them. I'm trying to find a hobby, but I don't particularly have one as of so far. I don't know what else to say.
Well, okay, so you are a pro. You're with us because you're a pro at something. And specifically, we're talking about network marketing and LifeVantage and those types of companies. So, I'm kind of curious, how did you find out about this company? And, why did you decide to give this a go?
So after I decided to become a stay-at-home mom, it was a really hard transition for me, actually. I was used to getting almost 100 emails a day. I was really running around was sort of what gave me what felt like life. And then going and sitting at home was quite hard for me. However, it was challenging. And the reason that I decided to stay at home was because of something that we had done 5 years prior. I was working in a business that was 80 hours a week. And I came home one day in tears and I just said, I can't do this anymore. And my husband said, you can't quit. You make too much money. And I said, that's a problem. And if you can't find something else to do, who's going to raise our kids? And I just was looking so much further ahead. I knew that we weren't having a baby, at 9 months, but I knew that I wanted to, and I knew that I wanted choice. So we created a life where I was able to stay at home, and it was amazing. However, I did find it a bit boring. I'm not going to lie. After, we lost you there. After at about 10 months, I thought I was ready to go back, and I wasn't. But about 15 months, I was ready to go back, and then I got pregnant and had my second child. So at this stage in the game, we'd moved back to Vancouver. My husband was commuting, and I was looking for something. I was interviewing all my friends that own businesses, saying, how would somebody like me, who's got 2 kids, a totally erratic schedule because my husband is back and forth, how would somebody like me actually get employed? I don't want somebody to raise my own children. I want to do it, but I want the flexibility of working as well. And unfortunately, a lot of my business owner friends told me that I was not really a hireable person. And so I was searching for something else. I was looking for something that was going to be interesting to me, something that I could do in the flexibility of my own day and my own time. And my girlfriend, Jay, who I had known since high school, brought it to my house one day, and quite honestly, I laughed in her face and said, "You must be joking. I don't know why you would bring this to me. Like I run businesses, not like this kind of business." And she's just like, "You should look at it again." And two of the jobs that I was actually interested in were real estate and mortgage broker. And I watched this film, not a film, I don't know, I guess kind of a short little movie on this man. And he was talking about network marketing. He was talking about how it wasn't that much different from a mortgage broker or a real estate broker, because they owned their own brokerage, and then they had all the realtors, and they went and did, job for them, and they got a little bit of the money, and then the other people, but they couldn't go any further than that. Same with the mortgage brokers. And so when I looked at it that way from a business perspective, I thought this is actually worth investigating and taking a look at. Because I had worked with so many different types of retail, it was familiar to me to understand what was important about a product and what kind of things would fly and not fly. So I just, after maybe a month of looking into everything, I said, yeah, okay, I'm in. And then I froze.
And off you go. Oh, and then you froze.
Totally froze. Super nervous.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with the company?
It'll be 4 years next month.
Cool. And how long did it take you to get your first sign up?
I think my very first customer didn't take long. That one was maybe within a few days. However, they didn't stick. And my first check was $13.40. It was pretty awesome, actually.
It's the win.
Yeah, it was a win. It was a check. It let me know that, okay, this does work, like money comes through. And then I maybe got like 2 other customers that actually, they liked the product, so they ordered once and then they ordered again. And so then I got my very first residual income. And interestingly enough, when I left the company I'd been with for 16 years, one of the things that was really hard for me is that I'd spent 10 years working. I'd done 6 years working around and 10 years really hard working in this one location. And I gave everything to it, my heart, my soul, my everything. And as soon as things started to change for me, one of the things that I remember distinctly the owner saying to me is, "I am your boss. I write your checks. You do not own this business." And it was an eye opener. And I remember leaving thinking, I will never get into this position again, like never. And so when I got my first residual check, which was $2.84, it was not anything really, but it let me know that there is a possibility for it. And obviously, like all those people that hang their first dollar in their store, you got to start somewhere. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. And so it only took you a couple of days, and you've been at it for a little while. So I'm just kind of curious, what was your biggest breakthrough? Like, how did you become a pro? What happened that allowed you to become a pro?
A lot of it was personal growth. So I worked a lot on myself. I was constantly reading books or listening to different audio. I was doing different kind of practices to try and become a more caring, forgiving, kind person, trying to see things from other people's perspective, trying to, like I said, not interrupt people all the time and only say my point of view. No, it's my own thing. I've always done it. And I used to think it was something that for me was like really kind of cute. And then as I started to realize, I'm like, I want to learn more about other people. So in order to do that, then for me, I just needed to learn how to keep my mouth shut. And it literally is something that my dad used to say to me when I was a kid, like, you just never know when to shut up.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that to me.
No.
No, not ever. I think like on a regular basis. So I totally get where you're coming from on that one. Anyways, all right. So you got a breakthrough because of the personal growth. what, you know, what do you love about MLM? Like, why did you decide that this really was the thing versus having like a different business or, you know, I mean, residual income, pretty important.
Well, a business for me, I mean, it's great to have shares. If you had a huge business, that's great. And I'm never against by any means people that are business owners. But for me, when we were starting something and all of a sudden, you know, it's supposed to be an investment business. And next thing you know, you're standing behind the counter, you know, and paying yourself either nothing or $8 an hour. It wasn't really that like glorifying. And, you know, when I go into lots of different franchises and I see the owners that are back there, like making smoothies and things like that, like it's sandwiches. I do not think that people understand what it's actually like to go into that. And we had looked at a lot of different things. I mean, we were ready to mortgage. We had, at one point we had like our house in Fort McMurray and a place in Vancouver. We were ready to mortgage them all and buy into another franchise, and thank goodness that we didn't, because we would have put in all of our RSPs, myself and my husband, and I started saving for my RSPs when I was 18. We would have put in both of our homes, and it, like, I can't even imagine. I don't even know if that franchise is really still around anymore. Do you know what I mean? And they were selling it for close to, it was $250,000, and then you had to have $1 million cash in the bank.
Wow. Plus, that on a franchise, the franchise ultimately, like if they're doing exactly what you're saying and they're actually working their own franchise, basically they just bought themselves a job.
Yeah, totally. And that was my complaint, because I had run a business for somebody else for 10 years, and I opened the key and opened the lock, and when somebody broke into it at 2 o'clock in the morning, guess who sat there until 9 a.m. in the morning when somebody could come and fix the front door? And not only did I do it once, I did it 10 to 15 different times in multiple locations for somebody else's business. And I was just not open to doing that anymore. And so when I looked at this and I really put my negative thoughts and ideas aside and looked at it as an actual business and said, okay, I can figure out how this works, and I can figure out the structure, and I can figure out the compensation plan, and then get over my own attitude. And that's when really things started to get better. So for me, I did need a lot of work on myself. Some people don't. Like, I have a girl in New Zealand that is killing it, and she just showed up and is just go. And she's amazing. And her leader said no to me for 2 years, and she's amazing as well. In fact, she has always been one of my mentors, and I kind of hope that she builds and bigger and faster than me. And that's the other thing that I really like, is that people are rewarded based on what they do, not like how long they've been in the business, or because I have seniority, I'll get more than you, or anything along those lines. It really comes down to the fact that if you work hard, you will be rewarded hard.
Absolutely. And we know that in LifeVantage, we're just talking about the people who are, you know, in lines and whatnot. And we know of a very specific situation where somebody has totally exceeded the person who signed them up. And it's, you know, I mean, it's very heartwarming to know that, you know, in this particular company, what you put in is on you and where you're going to go. And it's not, you know, you will be able to bounce ahead of the person that signed you up if you are signing up as a distributor. But I mean, the long and the short of it is that our company isn't all about distributors.
No. And that was the other thing that was really interesting to me. So I buy products from other network marketing companies if it doesn't compete with what I've got, right? Because I like to support other people. And often I find that they have really good product. So, and they last a long time. So, oh shoot, what were we just saying? You just...
The bouncing over somebody?
Yeah. Sorry, I lost track. What was I talking? How did I even jump? Like I just, my brain exploded.
Sorry about that.
Girl. Like,
Next topic.
Switch topics.
Right?
You have a rewind button?
Yeah.
And fast editing.
Yeah, no, I'll get. I mean, kind of the short and long of it is that MLM. They do. You're right. They do have a lot of good products in a bunch of the different companies, and so like you say, if they're not competing with what you're doing, why not try them out? And why not help out your friends if they're the ones who are looking at signing you up? Not necessarily signing you up, but at least trying the products.
Well, it depends. I know what I think. Somewhere along the lines of what I was going to talk about is that I've looked at lots of different companies and businesses, and it's there's lots of really great MLMs and there's lots of really great people, but not all of them are sustainable businesses. And so you really have to look at what the trends are, where the economy is going, where like where your industry is going, who owns it, what is it, a privately owned company? Like when I worked for a privately owned company and he was talking about selling it, like that scared me because I was one of the highest paid people in the company. So if he sells, guess who goes first? The ones that cost the most money. Yeah. And as it came down, when the economy hit, I was one of the first people to go. It was partially by choice, but it was, when you're making good money and things hit the fan, like people start turning on you like crazy. And I think maybe that's sort of the part in LifeVantage that I just, people are excited for you if you move up. People are congratulatory. Everybody wants to help you. I mean, I was on the phone. My neighbor's dog has an issue, and I'm on the phone with a vet in Georgia and saying like, hey, can you help me out? Like they can't get into a vet. We're in a small town. They can't get into the vet until the 22nd of October. Like this is what's going on with this. And they don't know anybody that can help them. Can you just obviously you can't diagnose over a phone, but you can still give ideas and help out a little bit.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm trying to be very thoughtful of your time here. And, we're getting close to the 7 o'clock zone. So what I do want to ask you is how has doing this particular business, how has it affected your life?
It's absolutely changed my life for the better. I would never, ever go back to the way I used to be, ever. And I was a good person and I'm an even better person now. It is absolutely amazing if you give this type of business an opportunity to really grow yourself, really learn about yourself, come at business from a service level of trying to help others rather than just trying to make money for yourself. When I look back, and I posted this on Facebook the other day, so I did my TED Talk in 2015, February of 2015, and I remember what I felt like inside. I remember the type of person I was and how I felt so fearful and insecure and worried about what other people thought about me. And a lot of that carried through into when I very first started this business. And so that's, I think, when a lot of people decide that they're going to quit. And for me, I just knew that I wanted to become a different person. And so I went to, Michael Jeffers, who I know you went to, you interviewed last week. I talked to him and said, this is who I am. This is my hard part about me. This is my challenges. This is what I'm worried about. This is why I don't think I can make it. This is it. And he just helped me walk all the way through it. And he doesn't have anything to do with my business. And that gave me such a great faith. One of the things that was interesting is that I said to him, I just don't believe that this could actually work. I don't believe that it could be good. I don't really think I believe in anything. And he said, of course you do. You believe in marriage. You believe in having children. You believe in life. You believe in being a good family member. You believe in being a good sister. You believe in all of these things. All you have to do is just make a decision that this is something that you want to believe in too. And that absolutely just changed my life for the better. So, I mean, I have it all to thank from LifeVantage and the people in LifeVantage, because it's just been such an incredible journey.
It absolutely has. Ken hasn't been to convention yet. I was this year, and it really is. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, the conventions are all about the hype and getting your mind back." And it's so much more than that. This group is each other, and I've never encountered that in any other business. And I've only done one other network marketing type thing, but I mean in life in general. And it is very heartwarming. Like you said, Michael was phenomenal with myself as well. So, you know, you can't get better than that when you've got support from people who really, they don't have anything to do with you.
No, they have no financial gain. No financial gain to help me. Like,
No.
I mean, once you get to a higher level, sure, they do. But you know what? The reason that they get that financial gain is so that they help the people that are working the business, that are coachable, and that really want to do it. And I think, you know, if I was to say one thing for people is that, you know, it's just keep trying to get better at it. Like, I mean, I look at my son trying to learn how to ride a bike, and he didn't just get up on the bike and ride it. He fell over lots, and he cried a lot, and we stopped a lot, and we just continued on and on and on until I don't have to hold him anymore. He just does it. And, you know, that's, I feel like, what it's like to do this kind of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
So second last question. What advice would you give to those who might be interested in pursuing this business or a business that's similar to this?
So I would look into where the company is from and what they're about. I like that this company is publicly traded. That was very important to me. I liked that because it's quite transparent and it shows you can find out how much the CEO makes and all of those different kind of things. I would do the research on there. I would see whether or not, if you're looking into a health product, I'd find out whether there's actually any documented science backing it that is not from the company, but from third parties. That I think is very important because anybody can do their own study and say their own thing about their own product, right? And then I would realistically look at it and say, if I was to offer this to my friends and family, is this something that they could pick up at the grocery store that can do the same thing for them? You know, so if they can't get it, you know, and I hate using this example, but if they can't get it at Walmart or while they're doing grocery shopping, then you probably have something that's worth talking about and worth sharing. And if you're helping people and you know that you're helping people, it doesn't matter what your business is, then keep going. You know, yeah.
Okay. And my very last question, which I like to ask, would you do this again with us?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's fun. I feel like I could do better next time. Feel like I wouldn't fall off the bike so many times.
Nerves are a little bit more calm now, huh?
I'm sweating.
Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you so very much, Marty. That was lovely. And I appreciate you sharing that story with us, like your life story and everything that goes with this. So
absolutely. There's so much more to it, but you only do so much. So much time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for asking me, and I hope that this is helpful, and I hope that somebody that is either on the cusp of thinking I can't do it, you definitely can, and you can reach out and somebody will help you. They're everywhere, willing to help.
Yeah,
absolutely. So if you're interested in learning more about how to change your health, make your health better, or you're more interested in the business side of things, please get together with whoever brought you here, Marty or Ken or myself, or whoever who linked you in. Or you can, of course, join us on the Zoom presentation right after the show here. So that's it's going to start in a couple of minutes. Again, I very much thank you, Marty, for coming on. I do need to let you guys know that next week we are taking a break. It is it's a break week for us. So we will be back the following week with Christy Abel, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
She is somebody to watch for in this company, that's for sure. You'll
Absolutely.
be up on stage in front of 7,000 people in no time.
I feel like that too. Yeah. Anyways, any
Awesome.
last words, guys?
Well, everybody, thanks again. And don't forget to like and share. Let us know if you're live or on the replay. And we'll catch you in 2 weeks' time. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye. Hi.
And you come back.
We're not back on air, are we? Okay. I'm like, thank you. That was.
Oops, you dropped her.
Hang on 1 sec.
We're on air.